Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's Tyler here, bringing you some more College Football 26 today. Back with the Cal rebuild, of course. Heading into year 3. If you missed the last episode, make sure you check it out. As we had all the off-season recruiting with transfer portal, finishing up some of the high school recruiting stuff as well, and just finalizing all the off-season stuff. Getting ready for year 3. We'll finalize everything else today with the depth chart and whatnot, and we'll look at other things like top 25 polls and Heisman watch, preseason All-Americans, all that good stuff, and get our recruiting board set up for year 3. And we'll get into the game action, our first game. I still don't know the schedule, so we'll reveal that at some point here soon. But we're still not technically into the next season as we start here. I still have to encourage transfers. Or actually, I think I might be set. Yeah, we're still under the roster size, so we're good. We don't have to get anybody out of here. Yeah, I mean, if anything, a few of these 2 stars from last year could probably go, but we don't need to open it up at all. There's no reason to, so we'll just leave it as is. If anything, we'll get them out of there next year because I'm planning on hopefully having a big recruiting class. But yeah, that's pretty much it to start. Just don't got to encourage any transfers, and then just got to wait for them to advance. And like I said, we'll be diving in, looking into all of our preseason rankings and stuff like that, and get our depth chart finalized. And yeah, man, looking forward to exciting year 3 here with head coach Marshawn Lynch at Cal. Coming off a big year in the playoffs, man. Unfortunately, did not get that win in that first round game, but that's a stepping stone for next season. This upcoming season, we get back to those playoffs, but now we gotta get farther, get deeper. I mean, hell, I want to win a natty. We got all of our guys. It's pretty much a full go right now. It's just the main thing is a lot of new starters on the O line. I think it's actually a whole new starting O-line because our one returning starter I'm actually going to have as a backup now. I'm pretty sure. I haven't decided that for sure, but we'll figure that out in a minute. But that, and then just a few key defensive players that, were All-Americans, or, our one drafted player, the edge rusher, TJ Bush Jr. So just a few spots where we're not really sure what we're going to get. So hopefully we're able to, turn out the same thing as last season. And I'm expecting my conference schedule to be a little bit tougher, so maybe the non-con will be a little lighter. We'll see what ends up happening, but yeah, man. Alright, so we're into year 3 officially now, in the preseason rather than the off-season, so we'll be able to check out our recruiting board, get that set up for this upcoming season, and check out, preseason rankings and stuff like that. There's a few different things that we can look at. But I do have a lot of points here to use. I gotta use 30 more in tactician, and then win 4 bowl games to get strategist. So it's gonna take a few years to get that, but we'll definitely go ahead and upgrade tactician here. Let's see, what do we got? Boost to throw on the run and change of direction. Dang, these cost 8. That's a lot. Pass block and run block. But that's for running backs. That's trash. Can do 3 of them. So yeah, we'll go with the quarterback. We'll go with the pass block. And then this for the D line, the change of direction and pursuit. It's either that or the linebackers finesse and block shedding. I think I'm actually going to do that one. Yeah, we'll go with that. Alright, so we just need to spend 6 more. and then win 3 more top 25 games, and we'll go from tactician to scheme guru. So that'll be nice. That should definitely be a lot more doable, or not necessarily a lot more doable, but you could get it done possibly this season, as opposed to these other things that, you got to win 4 bowl games or sign 2 top 5 recruiting classes. Yeah. See, I'm not sure. Is that top 5 recruiting class for just high school, or is it like for combined high school plus transfer portal? Because that is something that I didn't notice last time at the end when I was looking at our, class rank and stuff. I didn't realize that it was combined and you could like switch to just high school or just transfer portal, which I definitely didn't look at last year. Because I thought I somehow ended up with the same amount of commits out of high school this year, which it wasn't the same. Last season it was 21 out of high school with another 11 in the transfer portal for 32 total players. Where this season it was 21 total between the two. Had 15 high school commits and then 6 through the transfer portal, so not as much as we really wanted. I didn't have to convince anyone to leave. We're at 84 players, as you can have 85, so we're at 84 on the roster size right now, but I'll have to keep an eye on that going forward when we're in the off season looking at the rankings. But yeah, that's one thing. I'm not sure if anyone knows watching. I'm sure I could look it up and figure it out, but is the top 5 recruiting classes for this elite recruiter stuff, is that for just the high school ranking, or is that the total ranking? I'm not sure, but either way, I'm definitely looking to get a much better class this upcoming season, or maybe not even much better, but deeper at least. Probably should have made a change in D coordinator, but oh well. We'll see how that goes. Might have to make a change there going into next season. Deshaun Foster, no, that ain't great, but he's got enough, that master motivator stuff helps out, so works for me. Yeah, we got the prestige up to A for good old head coach Marshawn Lynch now, so that's nice. But yeah, man, like I said, we'll just check out a few things, get the recruitment board set up, and, get year 3 underway. But, before we take a bunch of time with recruiting, let's check out the top 25 preseason polls. And you love seeing that. They got Cal at number 6 in the AP poll. Let's go. So Texas and South Carolina are ahead by a long shot. You see they got 99 overall teams there. That's tough. So Louisville, first ACC team there at number 3. You got Missouri at 4. And Indiana at 5. That's the reigning national champion right there. Actually, the last 2. Missouri won it in year 1, and then Indiana last year. He beat Texas. But yeah, man, South Carolina and Texas just have insanely deep rosters right now. I will also mention I did get us up to a 4-star school now, as I was just 3 stars when we signed our contract here. But it's interesting to see how those stars change over the years. I'm sure we'll probably stay at 4 for a while. But yeah, we'll look at the rest of the rankings, of course. See the rest of the other users, some other ACC schools. North Carolina and Pitt will be up there battling. Arizona State's at 12. That's the team that we lost to in the first round of the playoffs last season. So definitely keep an eye on them. I don't have the finalized schedule yet, but I think we'll have Iowa in the non-con. Other than that, I'm really not sure yet. I'm thinking our conference schedule will probably be a little bit tougher than last year, as I dodged all the users like Louisville, Pitt, and North Carolina. I didn't play any of them. I mean, I ended up playing Louisville for the ACC title and won that in overtime wild game, so I'm sure I'll get at least a couple of them this year in the regular season. TCU at 18. Remember, I lost to them in the non-con last year, so it'll be interesting to see if some of these teams can battle up. We beat BYU last year. Yeah, so that's the top 25 there. Coaches poll, wow, big difference, as the coaches poll has us all the way down at 13. 7-spot difference. That's wild. Alright, let's check out. I mean, the conference standings I don't think really matter. I think they list it in order, though, of what they think the outlook is. Or maybe it's based on last year. I'm not sure completely. But, hey, they got us listed first. That's sweet. I mean, we are the reigning ACC champs, so. I mean, it'll come down to this top 4 here. I mean, NC State is back, though, so we'll see what happens there. As he was on autopilot last year and they ended up having a rough season, so. I'm sure he'll bounce back now that he's playing again. So yeah, just 5 users total now in the ACC, which is tough. But alright, let's see the Heisman watch. I'm actually a little bit surprised here. You're actually going to see our transfer portal pickup, Isaiah Hunter, is 4th in the Heisman race, which to me, I'm a little bit surprised because he's coming off a little bit of an off year. He was at Nebraska the last couple of years, and a couple of years ago he had a really good year, 1,200 yards, 8 touchdowns on 72 catches, but only 4 touchdowns with 500 yards on 44 catches last season. But now he's 4th to start the Heisman race this season. That's a little bit odd to me, especially when he's in a loaded receiving room, especially, with Daz James. He just broke the Cal school record last season for most receiving touchdowns in a single season. So if anything, Daz James should be the guy getting looked at, but if anything, it might be because of overalls, and I'll look at that stuff too when we get the depth chart sorted out. But Isaiah Hunter, 94 overall, that might be why he's up there. Dylan Raiola leads the way, DeCorian Moore, Micah Hudson, and Quincy Porter also there. So just 1 quarterback and then 4 receivers. So we'll see what ends up happening there. But it's just cool to see one of our players listed. I'll be honest with you, we'll see what ends up happening, but I don't think he'll end up being up there. Like, if any player ends up being in there for us, it'll be Daz James or Sagapolutele. Alright, preseason All-Americans. Let's see if they show us any love. Nobody on the first team. But on the second team, we get Isaiah Hunter. I'm telling you, it's got to be because of the 94 overall, right? Like, if anything, Daz James should be getting some credit. Like I just said, Isaiah Hunter ain't done much last season. He had a little bit of a fall off here. I mean, I like that he's getting some sort of attention, but if anything, like I said, this should be Daz James getting talked about. Okay, so not getting much love nationally, but looking at ACC, wow, Daz James snubbed here too. There's Keon Grays, and I'll mention something about this when I go to the depth chart in a sec. But yeah, he's up to a 91 overall now. He was pretty rough last season. He didn't really do much, man. He was supposed to be our top guy and had a lot of drops. And, he had a couple of decent games. But other than that, he really wasn't much of a factor. So to see him as a first team All-ACC in the preseason is a little bit odd. Oh, man, a bunch of linemen from Louisville's entire starting line is here, other than the left guard, so but that's going to be tough. Okay, Xavier Brown on the defensive side gets love. He's one of the best corners in the country, that's for sure. And then second team, wow, Daz James not even listed here. That's insane. But both of our D tackles here, Kevin Wynn and Jericho Johnson, love seeing that. And then another transfer pickup, Andre Jordan Jr. should be pretty solid in our defensive secondary. Alright, so I'm going to go through and set a few red shirts, man. Probably won't be a whole lot of them. Maybe like 7. I guess that's a decent amount. But yeah, Hugh Wilkins, I think he'll end up being really solid for us, man. But we just have such a young running back room that it would be pointless for me to waste a year of eligibility with him. Because Popo's going to be our starter with, Hampton, our nice transfer pickup, will be playing a lot as well. And then Holyfield as the bruiser back. Priestley's solid as well. So, like, these guys will all end up playing. But just no reason to keep Wilkins active. Got 3 seniors at tight end, man. We'll go ahead and redshirt Kevin Durant. Might as well, because after this year, he's going to be starting for a while. Well, I guess I shouldn't say that. I'll probably end up grabbing one in the portal next year, and then after that, it'll be his show. But either way, after this year, he'll end up getting some playing time at least. Trayvon Knott was a center. We moved over to guard and was actually higher overall as a guard than a center. But we got plenty of linemen that are readily available to play right now, so we'll go ahead and redshirt him and Dogby as well at center. So we got plenty of guys that'll be active. Randall Lincoln, of course, will be starting as a true freshman. Remember, this was our first ever 5-star commit with Marshawn Lynch as the Cal head coach. Yeah, a lot of these young guys we're just going to redshirt because they're not going to make much of an impact. Save that eligibility, man. Might as well. Like, same thing with Amato. Like, he's really nice to start, but it's just Lynn and Johnson are, I mean, you saw it. They're preseason All-Americans. They're juniors now, so they're running that show up front this year and next year. So not going to waste a year of eligibility there. Amato gets redshirted as well. It's just sometimes I get sketched out with this stuff because I don't want it to be a thing where then he ends up transferring the next year for playing time. But it's like, dude, you're going to be starting for probably 2 or 3 years. He's got that elite development too, so he could end up being really good. I definitely got a redshirt one of these two. Both 4 stars that we recruited at the linebacker spot. Shemba, remember, he's from the same high school as good old Percy Popo. And I'm actually going to leave him active. But redshirt Atagwe, which Atagwe's got impact dev, star for Shembo. I mean, he's not going to start, but we'll probably get him in the mix because he does have 86 speed. Gage, not as much speed with 84, but going into his second year, he's going to be playing, man. And he's pretty decently well-rounded there at the linebacker spot, just not as fast as Shembo. So if that ends up being an issue, then we'll just see Shembo out there more often. Well, I guess it just depends, certain teams I play against, if they have more speed and whatnot, we can adjust. I gotta play slightly different when I play against the CPU as opposed to some of the users in this. But yeah. Of course, both the young corners will redshirt. No reason to keep them active. Ship ended up developing him pretty solidly, man. He was very low rated, and all the way up to a 74 after his redshirt freshman season. And then free safety, Dylan Singer. I think he was like a 67 overall, maybe lower. He might have been like a 63 or a 65. I moved him to free safety and do some upgrades, and all of a sudden he's a 77. But I don't think I can start him though, because he only has 84 speed, bro. Like, that's not going to cut it on the back end. You got to be faster than that. It's just now he's in the right position to where he could possibly develop a little more over the next couple of years, but these caps be killing me, man, on these skills. You see it there, his quickness is actually unable to go any higher, which is pretty sad. I mean, 84 speed for a DB, like that's rough. So yeah, he'll probably just always be a backup, but still just an insanely higher overall now that I moved him to free safety. But Brazil, the true freshman, most likely gonna, I don't know if he'll start, but he's probably gonna be playing a decent amount. And McKivit's definitely a strong safety, getting redshirted. Another guy that just doesn't have enough speed, but it's only 200 pounds, so I can't really put him at linebacker. We'll see what he ends up doing. It'll probably be a few years before he has a chance to see in the field, though. You know, Benivalu will lead the way with the safeties. Probably end up moving one of the corners to safety. Like, not officially, but as far as when I go make the starting lineup in a sec. But yeah, like I said, I was just setting our red shirts, and that's pretty much all I needed to do there. So I ended up redshirting a few more than I thought I would. It is pretty much all the incoming freshmen other than Lincoln and Brazil and Shembo. Is that 1, 2, 3, 4? Yeah, it actually is 12 of the 15, but it just makes sense, man. I mean, a lot of these guys aren't ready to play right now, and it'll just help them develop more and, you know, still have eligibility to play with. Hopefully it doesn't trigger them to want to transfer or nothing, though. Alright, so I'll go through and order the depth chart, man. Sagapelotele up to an 89 overall now. And talk about a crazy jump. Look at Brian Pinheiro. The elite development, was redshirted during his freshman year last year, and goes from a 69 overall all the way up to an 81. Yeah. I absolutely love to see that. So he'll end up being a better backup than Ridge. But the thing is Ridge is more similar throwing wise as Sagapelotele. It's just Ridge is unable to move like these guys can. So yeah, I mean, that was a very nice jump to see with Pinheiro. So he might end up being better than what I thought he was going to be, man. His throw power needs to get in the 90s, but other than that, he's looking like he's going to end up being decent. Then running back, let's go. You already know I'm starting Popo. And then Hampton's going to be listed as the number 2, as he's got 94 speed, man. If you missed the transfer portal episode, or, you know, the off-season recruiting and all that, I was talking about how I mainly just wanted another back with a lot of speed. And Popo is up to 92 now. I think he only had 89 or 90 during his first year, but developed pretty well up to an 81 overall now. See Holyfield up to an 82, Priestley up to an 81, so all these guys ended up developing pretty decently. But yeah, this is going to be the running back depth chart for now. Holyfield will be our power back. Third down back, I'll probably switch it up between Popo and Hampton. Popo has a lot more receiving ability than Hampton does. Hampton's just straight speedster. But not that he can't do stuff in the receiving game, it's just Popo actually has the route running and hands for it. Alright folks, right here is where I'll let you know about the issue that I have with this game and how the progression worked. Most of it made sense, but look at Daz James. I was only able to get him up like 1 or 2 overall, where Gray's went up like 5. Gray's actually had 10 more skill points available in the offseason. Which to me, that makes absolutely no sense. when James was the one putting up all the crazy numbers. He was all ACC All-American. He broke the school record for most touchdowns in a single season, receiving touchdowns anyways. And like I said, he was the one doing everything. Graves barely did anything. So how, when they both have star development, how did Graves end up having more skill points available to spend? And James somehow still only an 88 overall, which, like I said, if he was in the 90s, he would be the one that you'd be seeing listed as a Heisman, hopeful and preseason All-American, all that good stuff. But don't worry, we'll get him up there. Speed's a 98 now. He was 97, now it's 98. So, you know the deal, what's going to be happening with him. I got his catching up as well. His catching was pretty low last year. It's definitely much better now. Route runnings are all 88, so. I mean, speaking of route runnings, Isaiah Hunter is just insane. 96 release as well. Like, come on, man. 98 spec catch. I mean, this guy's insane. Got his speed up to 93 as well, so we legitimately have probably one of the best, if not the best, receiving rooms in the country. Yeah, Hamper disappointed me last year, so he's still going to be kind of buried on this depth chart, even though it's his senior year. 3 main senior starter, and then Manu, the true sophomore now. Former 4-star recruit, had a few touchdowns last season, man. He was pretty solid, didn't play a whole lot, but he was out there a good amount and did his thing. So he'll continue to get opportunities. Maybe Hamper will be out there some again. It just depends, man. If he goes out there and drops some more passes, it'll be hard to, continue to give him chances. But all right, tight end, Arcadera is a pure blocker. So I'm going to go ahead and have Mason Minnie as the starter. And even Ben Marshall, I would kind of prefer over Arcadera. But if we go to a 2 tight end set, could be likely that, we're running the ball. So I'd want the blocker to be out there. So we'll leave him second. And plus, we could always sub in Marshall during the game manually if needed. But, we'll go with that for the tight ends. Now, here's where things might get interesting. I might be shifting some things around when it comes to the O-line. Possibly going to be all 5 new starters this year, as we graduated 4 of them last year. And then the one returner is Owens, who still is just a 77 overall. Well, 76, it looks like it's adjusted right now for whatever reason, I'm not sure. But, yeah, he was our worst O-lineman last year by a long shot. So I think we're going to be shifting a couple things around here. And he's not going to be starting anymore. So at right tackle, you already know the deal. I got that 5-star true freshman Randall Lincoln starting right away. That's going to be his spot for at least the next 2 years. I haven't decided yet. It probably depends on what other tackles I have or how Lang develops. Because once Sagapelotele is gone, I'm guessing I'll be back to a right-handed quarterback, and at that point I might flip Lincoln to the left. But that's the main reason why. Because he was originally listed on the left side, but I switched him to the right because I wanted to be on Sagapelotele's blind side. But yeah, should be good there. Now going back to left tackle. I'm just deciding. So for now I'll move Morrow. But I might switch that. I might end up starting Frederick Williams III. So we'll compare those two in a sec, but I am going to move Lang to guard for just this season, and then he'll be moving back out to left tackle. in case you're newer or if you forgot, I did recruit Lang as a guard, and then I moved him to tackle because he's 6'5" and has the pass protector archetype, so that just made sense to me. But yeah, he's going to be starting at right guard. Owens just not going to cut it, man. He is not good. But yeah, so we'll put Lang at right guard. And then the other 4-star guard that came in that class as well, Forrest, was a backup last year, did not redshirt him because he was, on special teams and kind of rotated in a little bit when guys got tired up front, but that wasn't too often. He ended up playing, I think, in probably about either 9, 10, or 11 games. But he's starting now at left guard. He's up to an 81 overall. You've seen Lang is up to an 80. He's an 81 as a guard, actually. But the other thing I wanted to mention, too, good old Haws and Huddle. 66 skill points just sitting there, man. Because these garbage caps. Like, this dude should be a 90. It's just insane. Like, he's got star dev for no reason. Like, there's a lot of players that have some really bad caps. It's just like, he's now a sophomore. This guy could literally develop to end up being 95 plus by his senior year. I mean, there's 66 skill points just sitting there, and it's like, oh, I can't even go purchase the physical upgrades or whatever for these badges or whatever the hell you want to call them, because I can't, I don't have high enough ratings to be able to even purchase them, and I can't put the ratings up because all these caps. So if you have CEOs can increase all skill group caps by 1 for rising seniors with the senior superlatives ability. See, like, that's just doing too much. They're just doing way too much with this stuff. So Architect, you can get the limitless and put a ring on it ability to increase their skill gaps. Yeah, I mean, this stuff just makes no sense to me, man. It just makes no sense that his caps are insanely low. Maybe if he was already like a junior or something, senior, I don't know. It just sucks because this guy should be at least a 88, maybe a 90 right now. And could end up being 95 plus. He's only a redshirt sophomore, and he's going to be starting at center for us, but I just don't understand that crap, man. Like, come on, man. He should be so much better than what he is. The same thing with Board Alone. He's got 20 points left, and you see the thing, man. They're all capped. I can't do nothing. Wish they would fix that stuff, or make it somewhat easier to increase the caps, because that's just insane. Or maybe a couple of them should go up on their own each year for the underclassmen. I don't know. Alright, so at left tackle, it's going to be Williams or Morrow. Morrow's 6'8", raw strength archetype, has that second level physical ability. Frederick Williams, 6'5", agile archetype, has a little bit more speed. A little bit more strength and awareness from Morrow, though, and his pass blocking is better, power-wise. Run blocking is pretty similar. I mean, they're really not too different. I think I'm going to go with Morrow, though, just because his pass block is just slightly better. You'll probably see Williams play a good amount, though. Gotta keep guys fresh. Yeah, so that'll be our new starting O-line. Whole new starting 5 up front this season. So you got Morrow at left tackle, Forrest at left guard, Hasenhuddle at center, Lang at right guard, and then Lincoln at right tackle. So overall, still pretty solid. Maybe a small, slight drop off from last season. But hey, we're just a lot younger now, and I think it'll end up working out alright. Just might have to change up the offense a little bit. That is another thing that I was thinking about throughout this offseason. I wrote down about 7 playbooks that I want to look at and kind of, see if maybe I switch things up this year. It'll probably still be like very similar, just a little bit different. But we'll see what ends up happening. Alright, so defensively, we'll start with the D tackles. Wynn and Johnson still starting up front there. And Robinson will be a solid backup that'll probably rotate in a little bit there. 6'6". But, yeah. Jewel and DeVoe, like I said, I recruited them as 3 stars back during year 1 and figured they'd both just develop into solid backups. Which that's looking like how it's going to go. Especially with Amato on the roster. It's like even if they do develop better, like Amato is going to be the next guy that's starting once Wynn and Johnson are gone. But alright, so a big thing this year was replacing the edge rusher spot. We lost Wayne and then Bush, which, he went 3rd round of the NFL draft, so I might change this stuff up quite a bit throughout the season. It just depends. At first we'll see how it goes. But, we brought in Anthony Jones through the transfer portal. He had 10 sacks last year at Louisiana Tech. Transferred there after getting no playing time at UCLA. So, yeah. Louisiana Tech obviously not, in as high of a tier of conference as Cal here, but 10 sacks last year, it's, I like seeing that, so we'll see if he can, get at least half of it. If he gets at least half of that here, I'll be happy. So he'll be on the right edge. And then a couple other guys that might play. Another transfer we brought in was Chuck Truman, but also Okafor here I like a lot. His archetype is power rusher, but he's got 86 speed. So that's something that I might be able to use to my advantage. At some points, if I want more speed off the edge, maybe we go to him, but yeah, that'll be the right edge spot. Will look like that. Then on the left side, I think Tyson Ford's going to start, but BJ Kennedy and Okafor will probably both play a lot on this side as well. The thing with Ford is he's only got 74 speed, but he's 6'5", 304. He's almost more of a D tackle, really. It's just I got too many D tackles. That position's loaded. So if anything, maybe he'll go inside for passing downs, 3rd and longs and stuff. Maybe I'll switch it up for that. For now, he'll start on the edge, and we'll see how it goes. But we'll probably see Kennedy and Okafor both rotate in. Not a whole lot, but they'll both play. Alright, so at the linebacker spot, remember, this whole Sam Will Mike thing doesn't really matter that much. Really, for us, it's just whoever the Mike is. So the Sam spot, I like Travis McLeod, but I think his coverage might be bad. Okay, never mind. It was good. So if anything, McLeod might be a guy that I'd possibly play. But I think Chuck Gage is going to start in the middle. Like Shembo here, he'll be listed as the starter at the will spot, but is that really a spot? You know, we run the 4-2-5, so yeah. He'll, you know, probably mix in the middle sometimes. But, you know, McLeod's got to be out there. Him and Chuck Gage really going to be leading the way. I like Asandu as well, but he's just not as well-rounded as the other guys. But, yeah, it's going to be nice having Chuck Gage full going out, the former 4-star recruit. Did pretty well with, you know, kickoff team and other special team stuff last year. So it'll be interesting to see him in the middle now. You know, he went from Taggart to Uluwave, a couple really good players, to now Chuck Gage. So we'll see how he does. Alright, at corner, I'm finally going to put Jayon Young on the outside. I'm going to have Andre Jordan Jr. play in that slot spot. Realistically, these three guys are pretty damn similar, so it honestly probably doesn't matter that much, but that's how we're going to have it. You'll see Clark and Wagner both mixed in there as well, and Shemwell. I think I might actually end up putting Wagner at free safety. Yeah, because he's got the 96 speed. He's got that robber physical ability. But, yeah, I think I'm going to do that, actually. So, yeah. Like, Singer, sorry, bud. You got 84 speed. You're not going to be out there. But Brazil, he'll end up playing a decent amount. But starting at free safety, I'm going to go with Wagner. 96 speed on the back end will be huge. So then at strong safety, Baini Valu, of course, starting there. And then, you know, like I said, we run that 4-2-5, so I'm not sure if Hayward will be the other guy or if I'm going to go Brazil. Looks like they're pretty similar. Hayward a little stronger, a little more aware, just a little more experience, of course. Has better man coverage, but better zone coverage for Brazil, of course, because he's a free safety. If anything, the strong safety, I want to have a little bit better man. I guess it depends on which one ends up down in the box or not, but we'll move these guys around a decent amount throughout the year. I'll figure it out the first couple of games. We'll kind of see who fits in better spots and whatnot. But yeah, we'll go ahead and go with Baini Valu and Hayward, and then Brazil will be the third guy there. All right. Of course, the kicker Murray still here. I think I got his power up a little bit, yeah. Yeah, his kick power's up to 93 now. I think it was 91 before, so maybe I can hit 55 yarders now. And then Kern, the new punter, of course, as Manor graduated, so still set at punter. I'll probably start recruiting kicker now. Who are we going to have return kicks? Maybe I'll give Hamper a shot at returning kicks because I don't want Popo and James out there doing it now. Maybe Grays also. Yeah, we'll go ahead and have Grays and Hamper back there. And then punt return wise, we'll go Grays. I like how they had it set already. That's what I was going to go with. Alright, I lied. We're calling an audible. We're going to have Grays back there with Champ Hampton. Come on now. Yeah, we're going to try out Grays in the slot this year, man. So that'll be a little bit different with James. We're used to having him outside on the right side. But we're moving him over to the left side this year with Isaiah Hunter will be on the right side. Grays mostly in the slot. I will change this stuff up a little bit throughout the year too, depending on, certain concepts, depending on what we're calling and whatnot. But yeah, just hoping that the slot will open things up for Grays because he is just so talented and just barely was able to use him last season. So hopefully he can get the type of production that we was getting from Jordan King in that slot spot, because after that first game when I had James in the slot and Hamper on the outside, and then Hamper was rough, so I moved James outside and then put King in the slot, and he was great. But yeah, we'll see if Grays does good in the slot. If not, we can switch things around. I think he'll be good there. So this is one thing I'll have to keep an eye on. I might switch up with the sub linebacker, of course, when we go to 2 and like dime or something. Or it'll just be 1 and dime, but it might be ideal for me to have Baini Valu here. Because last year I listed Sanford second behind Uluave. Just to have more speed out there for those types of situations, you know what I mean? So for now, I'm going to keep it as is. I'll probably have to switch it for when I play user games, but for now, we'll let it ride with Chuck Gage and Travis McLeod. They both got 84 speed, so it's not like they're slow. It's just, if they get matched up with the wrong running back or something, it could be bad. It's just one of those things that we'll have to adjust it throughout the year, but if anything, I'll put Baini Valu there, and then we'll still have Wagner on the back end with the safeties, him and Hayward in Brazil. So we'll see what ends up happening. A lot of different ways you can go with setting this stuff up. Slot corner, I don't know why they have Brown listed. I want Andre Jordan Jr. in the slot. And if it doesn't go well, like if Young, he's been in the slot for me the first couple of years here, so moving him to the outside, if he ends up doing not so hot out there, then we'll just flip-flop them guys. Alright, let's go ahead and set up this recruiting board, man. Definitely want to bring in some more prospects this year than what we did last season. I just have to, do it a little bit differently. I kind of shot for the stars last year and went for way too many 5 stars and high-ranked players and stuff, so of course we still want to do that, but we don't want to overdo it. So we want to make sure that we can get what we can get. Of course, I love seeing what we see here to start, as wide receiver is one of my needs. And you see there's a ton of 4 stars interested, all in state as well. Gritty possession. I don't think I've seen that archetype yet. But yeah, I'm just going to go through and I'll go through and kind of figure out where we're going to target, and then we'll go from there. Got 1,000 hours to work with, so we'll do some scouting and other stuff. But yeah, the main positions I'm worried about is receiver, tight end, then interior O-line. Just wouldn't hurt to add a couple more centers or guards, just so that way we're prepared for the future. Tackle, we should be good for a few years. Defensively, I'm gonna go after edge rusher again, man. Missed out on a couple big time 5 stars and a 4-star last year, so we got to try to make a splash there. Good at D tackle. Linebacker spot is pretty much all wrapped up for the next few years, so other than that, we'll probably look at some corners as we have a few seniors that'll graduate this year, and we still have plenty on the roster. It's just for the future, it's nice to get a couple more in there, and maybe a strong safety as well. I don't know. We can always move positions around and stuff if need be on the defensive backfield, but other than that, we'll look at a kicker as well. But yeah, man, we'll go ahead and get this set up, and I'll get back with you guys and see where we're at in a minute. And I did just realize this guy at the top is actually a 5-star, so Keontae Rourke probably going to be our main target when it comes to receivers. But I should probably check that real quick, see if we got any. We'll always kind of start with that, the 5-stars that are interested. Looks like that might be the only one interested. Dang, that sucks. So yeah, he's the only one that has interest. And he has his first, which is nice, but I want to at least go after a couple of them, you know what I'm saying? See, maybe I should look at quarterback too. But I don't know. I think we're pretty much set for the next like 3-4 years. I'll keep it in mind for now, but yeah, I thought we would have a few more 5-stars interested, man, but I guess not. I think I'll at least try to take a shot at a couple of these guys, see if we can get on their board, but I don't want to do too much with them, because if it's not going to be a thing, then it's just the way of the road. And we'll just try to get 24 stars, I guess. But, try a couple of these edge rushers. Shaquille Battle out of Raleigh, North Carolina. We'll add him to the board. Maybe Tyree Key out of Houston, Texas, a 5-star corner. Possibly will take a shot, but then the other edge rusher, Sam Warrior, might as well. Out of Chandler, Arizona. A couple 5-star QBs, both out of the state of California. Both pocket passers, though. Come on, man. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to worry about quarterback, man. I mean, if there's like a 4-star that's good enough with the right archetype, then we'll see what's going on. Might as well, but yeah, I'll keep on go ahead and add more guys here and see what we can do. So when it comes to the interested quarterbacks, it's mostly 3-stars, only one 4-star, and he has this 9th out of San Diego, California. He's got that backfield creator archetype, so not bad. It's just, is it really worth it to put the points in? I don't know. I'll at least add him to the board for now, and we'll see where it goes, but I mean, there's just so many receivers interested. The main thing I'm going to look at with some of these is the height. A couple of route artists. 5'7", 5'9". I'm sorry, but I want height. Like, this is This ain't real life. This is the video game, and you need guys with size and speed. De Jesus was nice for us the first year. He was, the shorter slot route runner. But, I mean, maybe we end up looking at these guys. I don't know. But I prefer the size. Casey Dwyer, another 4-star, has his 8th physical route runner. I just hope that these guys' speed isn't too low to start is the thing. Like, I can't be bringing in no more receivers that are like 86 speed. A lot of the main thing that's going to kill us with the top rated recruits is the deal breakers, of course, like you've seen it last season with Sean Rubin, the middle linebacker, and then a couple other guys as well. But like pro potential being so low, that's going to be a main thing for a lot of the top guys. So it's like we're not even going to be able to go after certain guys because of certain things like that. And that's just the way of the road, man. And then Josh Arias, listed as an athlete, but pure possession, 6'5", 252. Has his 4th right now, so 4-star. That would be a nice addition there. No other interest at tight end, though? That kind of surprises me. You're telling me no one wants to come play tight end at Cal? Huh. That is very odd. So I'm going to have to just add a couple guys to the board and hope we can gain some traction with them. The only guard listing interest in this is a 3-star, has a 2nd. I don't mind that. From Santa Maria. But I also need to at least target one 4-star, you know? How about good old Clyde Ty? Agile archetype out of Santa Rosa. Alright, there's the interest. It's in the centers. And remember, center guard, you can kind of flip-flop them, so. Interior O-line is basically what I'm looking at here. And okay, all 4-stars. Love seeing that, so we'll just go ahead and add them all to the board. I really wouldn't be worried about this if Huddle could actually develop, but no, he's got 70 skill points just sitting there unable to be used. Alright, so already a couple 5-stars on our board for edge rusher, but there's a few 4-stars interested, so we'll go ahead and add them to the board as well. I should be wrapping things up here pretty shortly. Don't really have a whole lot else to look at. And there's a bunch of outside linebackers interested, but we don't really need them. But if we can bring in 4-stars, remember, we got to try to get as good of a class as possible. So if we can bring in some 4-stars, we might as well. And see, like, again, we don't necessarily need this, but Frederick Thorne has us 1st out of Santa Ana, so Might as well keep him in the state. Just try to get as strong of a class as possible, man. Corners, we got 4 interested. Only a couple 4-stars, though. So we'll go ahead and add them to the board. Some more California guys. You know, I will mention that too. The first year, our recruiting class was heavily dominated by California kids, where last year I kind of was more so spread out all over the country, getting players from all over the place. So far, it seems like I'm back to more just Cali this year. Still a couple out of, you know, Texas, Utah. We like to hit those states as well, Washington, stuff like that. Manny Townsville has his 3rd as a free safety. Not really interested, but 4-star. Might as well see what he's looking like. You know, could end up being a corner or a strong safety. You never know. And then Andy Kaplan, the 4-star strong safety, has a 6. He's out of Chandler, Arizona. We'll go ahead and give him a look. 33 targets is definitely way too many. Like, I'm not really going to be able to do much with this. Because I don't want to, like... See, I don't necessarily need to scout certain positions, you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, these receivers, I want to know speeds and stuff. Let's do that. Let's start with the receivers. And let's just see what all their speeds are. What is that? 80 speed? Are you kidding me? 59 deep route? Let's say, if anything, Ty Madden's more of a light tight end. Which, honestly, I don't mind it, but you are not no 4-star receiver, buddy. Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna go after that. I was not expecting 80. That's ridiculous. Come on. This guy's a tight end, bro. Alright, out of Inglewood, Darian Awasika. Okay, 87, not that bad. Still not, you know, as fast as we would want. I mean, he's pretty solid to start, man. For a physical route runner, of course, I probably shouldn't expected much speed, so I mean, that ain't bad. Not gonna jump on the scholarship yet, but I definitely don't mind him. Now the 5-star, Keontae Rourke. Only 88 speed, but hey, he's got that press probability, and all the other stuff is really nice to start, so yeah, we'll go ahead and offer him that scholarship. And of course, that's all you can do right now. You can't actually add any actions or anything. It's just all about scouting and offering scholarships for now. One of these guys has to have speed, right? I mean, this guy's a physical route runner, so probably not him, right? I mean, a lot of these guys are looking pretty similar. Alright, elusive route runner. Maybe this guy will be 90. 84? What the hell is that? Like, what is that? There's no way you're telling me a 4-star elusive route runner has 84 speed, bro. Come on. This has been very underwhelming. Finally, I mean, he's got speedster archetype, so of course he's got 91 speed to start. Sheesh. Well, you're definitely getting a scholarship. Yeah, I don't know about the other guys, though. See, Miles didn't even have us on his board. Yeah, I'm just going to take him off. Yeah, that was bad. Maybe I'm going to have to go after one of them shorter receivers because they'll probably have the speed. It wouldn't necessarily hurt to have one guy like that, you know what I mean? Well, if anything, Elkins is 5'9", so I don't know. Maybe we'll look more at receiver later, but when it comes to these 5-star edge rushers, I'm just going to offer the scholarships. I'm not even worried about scouting them at all. This is purely just we need them there and we need high-ranked class. Now, I will go ahead and scout the 4 stars though. Let's see where we're at here. Are pretty solid, you know, power rusher, so 83 speed to start. I like that. We're definitely gonna give Hamdan a scholarship. Good old Hamdan. Let's go. Play Yoder. 80 speed, solid strength. Listed as a power rusher, but actually has a higher finesse move rating. So that's interesting. But he's looking pretty dang good as well. We'll offer him a scholarship. Then DeMarco Novel. So he's much slower. But it's not terrible. It's pure power. I would say maybe more of a D tackle, but he's only 233 pounds, so. Yeah, I don't know if I really like this. I mean, he's got a lot of strength. I don't mind it. Probably wouldn't be like a starter type, but maybe like a rotational piece depending on, you know, the type of team we play. I'll go ahead and offer him the scholarship. I remember only this top tight end here is interested, so I'm going to go ahead and scout the other ones first to see which one I should offer. I'm guessing Najee Yates is solid because Iowa already offered there. I mean, he's 6'6", gritty possession. Speed is pretty damn low. That's rough, but everything else looking solid. I don't like that I can't see spec catch. And this isn't terrible, but definitely not as good as I thought it'd be to start. We'll still offer him. Dwight Daniels, 86 speed. Gem, tight end, pure possession, 6'2", 236. Let's go. We'll probably need a little bit of work on that medium route, but at least the short is solid to start. Seems like he can catch the ball. Yeah, we're definitely going after Dwight Daniels heavily. He's not on the board. Don't have us on his board anyway, so we'll see if that comes into play. He's out of Mesquite, Texas. Has a bunch of Texas schools on there, so we'll see what happens. But I love seeing that gem stuff. Pat Hutton, the vertical threat, 6'3", out of Mobile, Alabama. Let's go ahead and check it out. 85 speed. Okay. Route running will need a little bit of work, but he can catch. Yep. You'll get a scholarship as well. The main thing is will those guys actually put us on their board, though? Now, Josh Arias already has us there. So not as fast as the other couple, but definitely faster than Yates. 82 speed, still pretty dang solid to start for the tight end spot, and he's 6'5". Yeah, I like what I'm seeing here. All right, so all the tight ends taken care of. So got 555 hours left. Before I look at the interior O-line, let's go over to the DBs. I did throw Tyreek Key, the 5-star, on there. Not even going to scout him. We're just going to see if he puts us on the board. Just got to try to make a few splashes, man. I definitely went for too many last year, but there was a lot more 5-stars interested to start last season, where this year it was just the one guy. Alright, Togway will scout. Okay. Solid starting spots there. We'll go ahead and offer him that scholarship. And then Keenan Bullard. I think he'll be good as well. Let's go, Gem. 94 speed to start. Nothing else matters. Keenan Bullard. You got to get out here to Berkeley, man. It's from Newport Beach, so not far. Has us in 4th to start, so we'll see what happens, but definitely want that. Alright, so 480 hours left. Manny Townsville, 4-star free safety. Okay, that's pretty solid. Pretty solid all around there to start. Go ahead and offer him as well. Andy Kaplan. Let's see. Speed isn't as high as I'd like it to be, but it'll be in the box and stuff, so it's not bad. Wouldn't need him to play until his probably 3rd year anyways, so he'll end up developing decent, I think. Oh, I forgot to look at kickers. Hold on. Alright, so Nico Mercado. His deal breaker I thought was interesting. The kicker's worried about brand exposure. Come on, man. But power archetype, exactly what I'm looking for out of Corona, California. 6'3". Dude's probably got a solid leg there for sure. He's ranked the 24th kicker. He's in state, so might as well go after that one. There's none interested, so that don't help really, but alright, so Frederick Thorne has his first as a 4-star middle linebacker, so we might as well see what's going on here. I mean, yeah, it's pretty damn good to start, man, so I'll go ahead and offer him a scholarship. And then Banta. Also pretty dang solid, so. And we don't really need the guys, man, but we just want to have a deep class, try to get as many 4-stars as possible, see if we can push for that top 5. It's going to be tough, though, because I just don't think I'm going to have enough 5-stars in the mix. And even if they do get in the mix, how many do we land? You know, we got 1 last season, so maybe this season we'll get 2. Alright, some more outside linebackers here. Let's go. Santiago Bernal is a gem. 84 speed to start. Oh yeah, he's definitely solid. Go ahead and offer that scholarship. Zay Shelley. Not as good, but still pretty dang solid. Go ahead and offer him. Good old Salt Lake City, Utah. And then Iosefa Senor out of Peoria, Arizona. So he's got us all the way down in 7th. So unless some crazy numbers pop here, I'm probably not going to offer him. See, like, again, not bad, but it's like, do I really want to put a whole bunch of points into very similar players, and I don't really need that spot, and I have way more targets than what I want, so I'm going to go ahead and just take him off the board. I'll keep the other 2 there, though. 225 hours left. I think all I got left is these guards and centers. So Clyde Ty. Okay. It's pretty solid. By year 3, he'll be damn good, I think. We'll go ahead and offer him. Let's see the 3-star. One of the few 3-stars I targeted. Rashard Gillis. Let's see. More of a power blocker than finesse. A little bit better run than the pass. I mean, yeah, this isn't very good, and I don't really necessarily need this type of player. I'll leave him on the board for now, but I'm not going to offer a scholarship. All of these centers have us in 2nd, so let's just go ahead and scout them all and probably just offer 2 of them. .90 strength to start. That's beautiful. Pretty solid. So a die will get an offer. Reggie Massey. Holy shit. Wow. To me, that just looks like really damn good. I mean, it's pretty well rounded. So he's an athlete listed under the center spot. He seems a lot more like a guard, maybe even a tackle. He's 6'4", agile archetype, so I'd probably go guard. And plus, like, with how our team is constructed, I'd probably need to keep him on the interior anyways, but he's definitely getting offered. So I already offered the first 2 without even scouting these last couple. So maybe we end up with the 3rd offer here. Looks like it's all pass block for Max Keaton here. Yeah, pass protector at the center spot isn't necessarily ideal. I mean, those are great ratings, and I could develop his run blocking over a couple of seasons, so I don't hate this. But let's go ahead and see Kenyon Wilder. See, his pass blocking is pretty similar to Keaton, but his run blocking is already really good. Like, yeah. I mean, Keaton does have the mentals there. I'll keep him on the board for now, but I don't want to offer all of them. They all have Arizona State first and me second. That's crazy. Alright, we'll see what ends up happening there. But I got 25 hours left. So if anything, I think I might just go off for a few more 5 stars just to see if something happens. Yeah, if anything, maybe I'll add another receiver to the board. Check out one of those, route runner short guys. Maybe they have crazy speed or something, but I don't know. I think if we just get Rourke and Elkins, we'll be fine. It's just Elkins has to put us up there on the board. Not sure if he will. Forgot about the dang quarterbacks I had on there. I ended up adding a 5-star athlete, Grant Ty, was a dual threat QB. These other couple have us on their board. But we'll just go ahead and offer them all scholarships because I don't have any hours remaining here. Alright though, that's it. That's it for setting up our board. Once we get a few weeks in, I'll probably bring it down to 25 targets or so. It's just, we gotta kind of, have the board widespread to start, and then once we kind of get to those top 8s and top 5s, we'll kind of know which races we need to get out of and stay in. You know what I mean? So, but that's it for now. We'll update things once we advance to week 0 and kind of, see where things stand after sending out all those scholarships and whatnot. But yeah, other than that, can't really do anything right now. I will still add some more stuff at the end of this video though once we advance. Once I have my schedule, I will put that at the end of the video and wrap things up. And we'll wait for the next video will be when I have my first game. I just, the off-season videos end up being pretty long and just a lot of recruiting, a lot of menu stuff, a lot of this, a lot of that. I still have to, spend time looking at some playbooks. I was thinking about changing it up, man. Been running this the first couple of years. I'm going to stay in this 4-2 defense. I was thinking about changing it up. But I couldn't really find one that I wanted. So yeah, we're sticking with the 4-2-5, man. But offensively though, I might just stick with this one. If I change, it'll still end up being like a multiple type of offense or a spread or air raid type of playbook that still has an I form set. That's the main thing I look at, is I still at least want one I form set and some single back stuff as well. I don't want it to just be all shotgun or all pistol. But yeah, I'll let you guys know if I end up using a different playbook or not. But yeah, we'll see what ends up happening. So I'll probably revisit this once we see our schedule, but there's no way they're serious with a goal of winning 7 games, right? Because year 1, my goal was 5 wins. Well, that's what they gave me. I said I wanted to make a bowl though, which we did. It still should have been a much better year than what it was. I should have won at least 7 or 8 games. Ended up being 6-7 with the bowl game loss. And then in 2026, their goal said make a bowl, which is at least 6 wins, of course. But personally, I was like, no, I want 8 wins. And then we went on a crazy run, won the ACC, made the playoff and everything. So, yeah, I mean, we are replacing a lot of starters on both sides of the ball this year. So it'll be interesting to see if we can keep it going. And I'm expecting the conference schedule to be a little bit harder. So we'll reveal that once we advance here at the end. And then we'll see if this changes. But there's no way they're serious that my goal is to win 7 games. Like, that's crazy. We just went to the playoff last year and we're ranked 6th to start the year in the AP poll. Like, our goal should be to get back to the playoff. We need to be contending for that ACC title once again. Like, the expectations are there now. They're set. So we got to get that done. And then they better give us a nice fat contract. Alright, we advanced to week 0, so I can reveal that schedule now, and we'll go over that. And then I think that's pretty much the last thing I wanted to do to wrap up this episode. I split the offseason into a couple of videos this time. It's just a whole lot going on, and it just takes a while to get it all done and whatnot, so I wanted to split it up, and then didn't want to make this video too long by adding the first game on the end, so that'll be in the next video, probably the next couple of days. Just remember to follow me on Twitch as I go live there for the games, and then follow my Twitter, which, all that stuff's in the description. I always tweet out when I'll be going live, stuff like that, updates, so. Alright. Let's see what the schedule's looking like. We'll have a top 25 matchup in the non-con to start off the year here in week 0. Remember, we're number 6 in the country, and we'll be hosting number 13 Iowa. We had been talking about this matchup possibly happening. I thought we were going to head to Kinnick Stadium. I thought we were going to be on the road for it, but hey, we'll take it. We're at home here to start the season. All eyes on us. Coach Marshawn Lynch and the Golden Bears will be ready for their top 25 matchup against Iowa. That's right. He is, rated a little higher. Both defenses at 86, but I'm there for offense too, and overall, or his offense is up at 91 with an 89 overall. So we'll see what ends up happening. Should end up being a good game. Impact player, of course, they have an Isaiah Hunter listed, as you saw moments ago, that he is listed 4th in the preseason Heisman watch. I'll also do the week 0 recruiting to start, or it might be to start or to end the next episode. It just depends on how it times up with the game scheduling with the guy I'm playing against. But yeah, so that recruiting will be along with that. But yeah, like I said, I kind of just want to check out that schedule, and that'll be how we wrap things up. Oh man, this is a tough one, folks. Oh goodness. So right after Iowa, we then traveled to Texas, the number 1 team in the country. They lost in the national championship to Indiana last year. But yeah, Texas and South Carolina both have 99 overall teams across the board at this point, so that is going to be a tough road matchup. We're not going to worry about it yet. We got to get a good win against Iowa to start the year at least. But yeah, I was not expecting that. Remember, that is the old SMU coach. I would have been a lot more confident in that matchup had we won in the first round against Arizona State of the playoffs last year. We would have moved on to play Texas. I would have been much more confident then, where now it's a little bit more in question. I mean, we got half of our starters on both sides of the ball being replaced this year, so we'll find out a lot here in this first game. I was hoping to get a cupcake in the non-con, but it's not happening. So we got a lot to figure out in a short amount of time. Then we follow that up with another road game, heading out to Florida, taking on UCF. So we get all 4 user games in non-con, 1 Big Ten team, SEC team, and 2 Big 12, as we have the bye in week 3. And then we have TCU. So that'll be, hopefully we get our revenge this year. He beat me last season. Again, was thinking we would go to TCU because he came to Berkeley last year, but looks like he's coming to Berkeley again. So hopefully I get my revenge there, like I said, but that's a brutal non-conference schedule, that's for sure. And then ACC-wise, it's going to be much tougher than it was last year. I don't get North Carolina or NC State, but Louisville and Pitt are there this time. I do get Louisville really early, and I did just beat him for the ACC title in that championship game. I believe it was 2 overtimes, or it might have been 1. Went for 2, got the win. Yeah, I can't remember because I ended up playing so many overtime games last season, but I think I played at least 3. It might have been 4 or 5 though. But yeah, that'll be I mean, we're the 2, top ranked in the preseason ACC rankings. So early in the season, you'll find out, who's gonna, separate themselves. That'll be a night game. That'll be a good one. And then our second bye, I don't like that. Both of our byes are very early, but it'll be all right. Then we follow that up with SMU. Then we go to Pitt. So it'll be a tough road matchup at the end of October. And we got a Thursday night game. That must be a thing here at Cal because this was like the same week that we hosted Clemson on a Thursday night last season. So we get Boston College, and then at Georgia Tech versus Florida State, at Stanford, and at Miami to end the year. So only a couple of those CPU games should be a challenge, really. But, as long as I find a way to, just like last season, if I can find a way to only lose 2 user games, then we'll be right back in those playoffs, man. Remember last season, the goal they gave me was to just make a bowl game. For myself, I was like, no, I want 8 wins. But instead, we ended up going 10-2 and got that 11th win in the ACC title game, and then got the 3rd loss in the first round of the playoffs. So overall, it was 11-3. But yeah, based off this schedule, I definitely think we can get back to the playoffs. It's just I can't troll early, and we got to figure out a lot, man, because just not sure with so many new starters. A completely new starting O-line, man. We'll see what happens. A couple new starting edge rushers on defense, a couple new safeties starting, new starting linebackers. So, yeah, man, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Let me know in the comments what you think about the schedule. Definitely a little bit tougher in conference than what we had last season, but a crazy non-con once again. But hey, that's fine. That's the whole point of the online Dynasty, you know what I'm saying? Get as many user games as you can. And since I only had 2 in conference, I had to get at least a couple of them out of conference. I think our rule is you got to have at least 4 user games, so we're pretty spread out between the Power 4. I think we have like 4, I think we have 5 in the ACC, then there's like 3 or 4 in the other conferences, and then Big 12's pretty loaded. I think it has like 6 or 7 at least, but either way, yeah, I'm thinking, like I said, I'll give my goal 10-2. I think 10 wins is doable. I think 9-3 I couldn't be mad at, and with the right losses, 9-3 could possibly still land us in the ACC title game as long as 2 of the losses come out of conference, and then we get these other guys maybe lose, or I'm not sure what North Carolina's schedule looks like because we dodged them once again. And NC State, like I said, might be back this year because he was on autopilot all last year, so expect them to be in the mix in conference again. So we'll see what happens, but I think 10-2 is realistic. You see the goal they have set for me, though, it just says win 7, which to me that's just too low of a expectation after what we did last season, man. Like, you want us to just win 7 games now? I mean, I think we should win like 8 minimum. 8 minimum, but realistically, I think 10-2 is doable again. Get a shot at that ACC title and should be back in those playoffs. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think. How many wins do you think we'll get this year? Will we be back in the playoffs here in year 3 of the Marshawn Lynch era here at Cal? But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this episode. Again, I got to go over a few things with the team, depth chart wise. I went over that already, but might change some things up depending on how this first game goes. We'll see. But it might change up the playbook and some other things as well. We'll mess with some things, and then it'll be full go, man. Crazy schedule to start, so not gonna have much time to figure stuff out. We just gotta not make mistakes and go out there and do our thing. But that'll do it, man. I appreciate you tuning in. This was episode 30 of the Cal Dynasty Rebuild on College Football 26. Make sure you hit that like button for me and subscribe if you are new. Much appreciated. Again, go hit those links in the description. Follow the Twitter and the Twitch. I'll be live with that first game in the next couple of days, so stay tuned. All right, have a nice day. Peace.